Brookside was the soap that was absolutely most in touch with modern Britain in its time. During the 90s especially, it hit controversial issues, was absolutely in touch with where we were as a nation and as young Britons.
Everything's going to be all right, you know.
I used to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway like an exam. It was when I knew I wanted to be a comedian, but I didn't think I would, so I used to watch it and sort of test myself to see if I could be as funny as them. It was such a good programme because it was funny because of Clive Anderson's hosting, his bits were funny, and the way they did the end credits was always funny, so it was literally funny from the minute it came on to the minute it ended.
You're meeting on the beach and you can only speak in questions. Where you go?
Isn't it a beautiful day?
Why are you asking me?
Aren't you the lifeguard?
Do I look like a lifeguard?
Don't you recognize me?
Should I?
Do you find me attractive?
Do you think I'm that sort of man?
Aren't you?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Desmond's is great, even more than great, legendary, because it's probably the only show that I know that has successfully, in a prime time slot, explored the comedy and entertainment and lives of West Indian and African immigrants in London and what they bring to their communities. And it had a great soundtrack.
After you've had this, I want you to go. This is not a cafe, you know.
Oh, come on, Cheryl, don't be like that. It's people like us that keep this shop going. Without us, this place wouldn't be the same.
Without you, this place would be a barber shop. Instead of a bookie and a social club.
But you can't just throw us out to roam the streets with nothing to do. I might get into trouble.
All right. You can stay on one condition.
Just name it. Anything.
One of you got to get his hair cut.
Obviously, you must be referring to Pork Pie. He's worn that hat so long, I don't think even he knows what's under it.
I think Drop the Dead Donkey was one of those love it or hate it shows. It was so kind of high volume, and it was also, as well as being a comedy, it was a fantastic soap. And having worked in a newspaper office, it just rang so many bells. There were so many bullseyes hit repeatedly. I just loved it.
I'm sorry. I am sorry, Gus, but you have to die. It's a mercy killing. A brain as damaged as yours cannot sustain life as we know it.
Office humor, Henry. Excellent.
That was not office humor, Gus. That was abuse. Intended to highlight what a total twat you are.
Terrific. Every workplace needs a jester.
I love the word because of the standout moments. L7, girl dropping her pants, Kurt Cobain's little proclamation about Courtney Love, Mark Lamar introducing Marky Mark and calling him Marky Mark and his khaki cacks, and the terrible presenters and Terry Christian and Katie Puckrick's eyebrow.
To what lengths do people go to bring a smile to your face? This length? This length? That length?
Feels filthy.
Hello, viewers. And I can't wait to take my first bite of German sausage, I can tell you. And now, from comic relief to hand relief, Mark.
Thank you very much, Kate. You're never one to let a masturbation joke go, is she?
This is sick! I'm loving it. Ooh la la.
I love Father Ted because it's the perfect blend of brilliant physical humour, amazingly written, rich characters, and everyone's funny in it. A lot of shows don't capture that. There'll be one or two funny characters. Everyone Father Ted is funny, and I can watch it on repeat.
Can you see it?
No, I can't. But, oh, just listen, wait a minute. There seems to be a very crude watercolour painting of a man in a bishop's hat. Really?
Let me see. You're right.
Tell you what must have happened. Dougal probably didn't want you to be disappointed, so he must have drawn that himself. He meant well.
Brasseye, what a great show. Risky to the point of making your jaw drop sometimes. And I love not just the incredible content, the amazing satire of news gathering, but also those apocryphal stories of Chris Morris in the edit in the small hours of the morning, splicing subliminal messages into the script. Fantastic, irreverent, outrageous.
Last month, the notorious paedophile Sidney Cook was blasted into space to spend the rest of his life aboard a one-man prison vessel, posing no further threat to children on Earth. But it was revealed that an 8-year-old boy was also placed on board by mistake and is now trapped alone in space with the monster. A spokesman said, "This is the one thing we didn't want to happen."
It's the highest quality property porn programme. And I can't believe I get drawn into it. Even when Kevin MacLeod starts emotionally summing up the journey of building a house at the end, I would think I would be cynical about that, but I'm totally, God, yeah, that's absolutely right. This house is an extension of the humanity of these people, and it's amazing, Kevin. And I really want Kevin to just hold me, and just really hold me. I really love you, Kevin.
To build a conventional house really well, I think you need just reams of drawings. You need a bill of quantities, a full specification, a schedule. You need contracts with your builders. And if you don't have any of these, then the whole thing can just spiral out of control. But Ben's approach is entirely different. If he's got any plans at all, they're in his head. So maybe it doesn't matter that nobody on this build has built a house before. Maybe it's fine that he doesn't have a schedule. Maybe it's okay that he makes up so much of it as he goes along. But personally, I'd find the whole thing terrifying.
Very controversial show at the time. Really great storylines, brave acting. And I watched it and actually really enjoyed it, although I wasn't quite sure if I was meant to go to school the next day and tell people that I'd watched it. But then as the show went on, you know, people started talking about it, and blatantly we was all watching it and really enjoying it.
Sorry. It's okay. Do you want me to finish you off? No, it's all right. Anyway, the night's still young. I'm really sorry.
When Trigger Happy TV came along, it was new, it was an original. We'd all seen Candid Camera, but he'd moved it on. It's just surreal things. The man with the big phone, the man with the big hair in the cinema, and I really like the surreal men in costumes dressed as dogs who would meet in the middle of a street and just have a fight. All on hidden camera, audience reactions, brilliant.
Quitte pas, je t'inventerai des mots insensés que tu comprendras. Je te parlerai de ces amants-là qui ont vu 2 fois leur cœur s'embraser. Je te raconterai l'histoire de ce roi mort, de n'avoir pas pu te rencontrer. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas.
Ali G came from the 11 o'clock show, and he quickly became the only thing you watched it for. When he got his own show, weren't sure, is it going to be good? It was brilliant. It was so funny. He had brilliant guests on, and then just everything that Ali G was allowed to just shine through. Just the stupidity of the whole character. It was fantastic.
How many E's can you take in one night and still be safe if you ask to do it?
Some people can take 2 or 3 E's and no problems.
Because I has never ever taken any drugs, and you can test me piss. But I've got a mate called Dangerous Dave, and I ain't gonna say his family name, obviously. But he said that he has taken 22 E's in one night.
Did he have a headache? Did he feel...
Well, he said he was like, you know, he found it difficult to get to sleep. Yeah. But the next day he was really buzzing, and actually the people on the Egham to Ruislip bus said that he drove it better than he ever done before.
There's a temptation with Derren Brown to think, well, he's just another magician, but he's not. Not only is he brilliant at what he does, but he subverts it, and he tells you this is not really magic, and there are tricksters out there who will try and con you if you're out in the real world.
Excuse me, mate. Sorry, you don't know where the Pleasure Beach is, do you?
Pleasure Beach.
Is this whole area the Pleasure Beach, or...?
No, just that end piece.
It's straight down there, is it?
Yeah.
So you don't mind me asking, do you? No, OK, you're happy to give that to me, OK.
Yeah, you're a holidaymaker.
Absolutely, no, I don't know the area that well. Cheers, you haven't got the time, have you?
No.
Great. Can I just can I just grab your wallet off you? Thanks. Can I just grab that from you? Thanks. Thank you ever so much. I'll take that. No, it's just such a hot day, isn't it? All right, so straight down there, down the end and on the right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, thank you very much.
Just walk out there.
All right, lovely. Thanks. Cheers, thanks, mate.
I absolutely love Peep Show because I could basically live my entire life just using Peep Show quotes to get me through the day. Like, it applies to everything. And also, the creators of it are my bosses, so I have to like it.
This is outrageous. This is contagious. Yeah.
Maybe a tattoo on my chest, but of my face. Yeah, double me. Feel it.
Hey, Mark.
Sophie.
We must stop meeting like this.
Yeah, I was running. Were you running?
Right behind you, I shouted, but...
Yeah, of course, stupid music. Why don't you,
So, what did you make of Jeff's memo?
Oh, no, shit, I should say. No, too late. Already, it's too late. Maybe if we hit a bump, I can slip it out. Or keep stum, ride it out.
Yeah, I like Shameless. That's with the drunks running about up north. And who doesn't like programmes about drunks running about up north? It's very, very good, that one. Long hair, cans of beer in his hand, falling over. Yeah. People rowing. Brilliant. Well done, Channel 4. Cutting edge.
He's dead! And he's not coming back!
Frank Gallagher was a deeply valued and respected member of this community. He was a good friend and neighbour, and he'll be sorely missed. He once told me in private that if he ever died unexpectedly, that the one thing he liked saying at his wake was this.
Firstly, because it's funny, and I love that kind of the comedy, the surreal comedy, and also the comic performances are just like perfect, and all the women in it. There's so many strong female parts, and I think growing up and being influenced by that was like really important for kind of doing this and things that I will do in the future, I think. So.
One in 4 children in the UK is now obese or overweight. That's a real worry. So as a GP, I loved Jamie's School Dinners. It was groundbreaking television that first made us think about what our children ate and what that meant for their future health. So thank you, Jamie. Job well done.
Awful food, looks disgusting, tastes disgusting, totally unbalanced, too much salt, too much fat, absolutely, you know, covered in additives and all that old business. You know, it should have never got like that. That's totally irresponsible. Surely, when those kids walk into that school, you would think, paying your taxes, that your kid would be eating something that had been cared for and thought about with a little bit of love and care from someone that actually knows what they're talking about, and that's not happening.
So Skins was the first show that was really gritty, really British. It had the teenagers getting drunk, having sex, swearing, and just speaking and being kind of as teenagers are. So it was great to watch. Some of the storylines were brilliant, following the characters individually is just a really great way to do a show. And the most memorable bit for me was Dev Patel naked running down the street. Stuck in my mind.
Leo. Horatio.
Yo!
Never seen one like that before.
Oh my God, Alvar, you really did it.
Wearing all my clothes. It's compact, saves on luggage. I got you.
Allah Let's go! Come on, then.
We've all got our sort of favourite programmes, and one of my favourites is Dispatches. Not just because it's a serious documentary, the sort of thing that actually I like, but once upon a time, nearly 20 years ago now, I was involved in a peripheral way with Dispatches. And I saw the honesty of that show. I saw the courage of that show and the people who made it. And I saw the integrity of what was then shown on the screen. And ever since then, when I see Dispatches coming up, I know what I'm about to see is right on the button, and it's dead honest.
知道他现在是什么，过得怎么样？会不会叫人家爸爸妈妈？不知道他周末会不会梦见我们？不是说把他卖掉，不听话就卖掉了，就丢掉，他就以为真的。他会说：“妈妈，我听话，我不跑。”
In-Betweeners, I was a bit of a latecomer into the In-Betweeners, but everyone kept talking about this show, which was a little bit rude and a little bit funny. When I watched it, it's one of the first programmes that I've watched that made me laugh so badly I was gasping for air. And the one clip I remember was when Jay, who's always bragging how he can do this and that, saw this high-performance motorbike and he got on it and crashed it. I mean, it was just hilarious. I rewind that and watched that about 100 times.
Who's taking it back then?
I am.
And you say you used the motorbikes?
Of course. Dad used to drink with Lance Armstrong.
What, the cyclist?
Yeah.
Right. Well, up on, I'll just show you the basics in case it's different from what you've ridden before.
Yeah, can do.
These are the gears, these are the brakes.
And they're for stopping, right?
Yeah, I presume you want to stop.
Maybe.
Do you need me to show you that again?
Nah, it's all right. You never forget. It's like riding a bike, isn't it?
I think he's used to left-hand drive.
I think it's a really shocking show, you know, when you see the patients or the women giving birth and the nurses and all the personalities and the families. It's very emotional. Some really funny moments, you know, in those sort of situations as well. A really spectacular show. Quite difficult to watch.
I can't do it. You've done the hardest bit. She's got a hand up there. You've done the hardest bit. Oh, come on. Congratulations.
Well done, darling. 156.
Oh, good morning, Freya.
I loved that programme about Mo Mowlam. It was a drama, admittedly, but it was her to a T, a courageous politician. She didn't actually care too much about the party line. She just wanted the truth and honesty, and she just wanted to drive through a decent thing. Secretary of State from Northern Ireland, that is a poisoned chalice, and yet she handled it so perfectly. And I know that part of Ireland. My people came from that part of Ireland. And anybody who can sort of, in an even-handed way, attract support from both sides, yeah? It's pretty remarkable.
We're trying to find a solution to a problem caused by hundreds of years of British colonialism.
To be precise, 1609, British settlers came over and took our land.
Look, I'm a Scot. English landlords took our land. We don't still harp on about it.
Well, I'm an Irishman. I'm still fighting. Find the attitude of your security minister very unhelpful.
The point Adam's making is that we have to look forward, not back.
Know who's doing the lecturing?
No, I'm not here to lecture you.
And that'll be a first coming from a British Secretary of State.
Oh. So with that, I expect. Oh, the fucking thing. Sometimes aren't there just times when all you want is a bloody good scratch?
Well, I love Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
I love the dresses, I love the attitude, and I also like finding out about new, different ways of life. I mean, grabbing, after watching that, who doesn't want to be grabbed by a nice gypsy man in a car park? I mean, it is just... Honestly, it's just an absolute revelation. And I was just getting so many texts and phone calls when it was on, are you watching this programme on Channel 4? And I watched it on Channel 4+1, and I was addicted. I love it.
This is the moment Josie's been waiting for.
Coming through, beep, 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 beep.
Weighing over 5 stone, her dress has a thigh-length slit at the front to give it that certain Spanish something.
Yeah. I look nice. I look the class.
I think The Promise was probably one of the greatest dramas ever put on by Channel 4. A really dangerous subject: Israel, Palestine, Arabs, Jews. And yet it educated, it informed, and it led us through the promised land. And it was a most extraordinary series, utterly irresistible, and the first time I've stayed in on Sunday nights in years.
So let's go.
Shouldn't you be praying?
We pray on Sunday. My family's Christian like yours.
I'm not anything. I hate religion. Does it go right through the middle of town?
Of course. Over there, the West Bank. Over here, Israel.
God. No.
You see God in this?